Guys, check out this amazing craft beer bar we found in Houston, Texas. Craft Beer Cellar, Houston, Texas. There is a young Bradley Owen right back there. Again, hello from Houston. Today is Friday, tomorrow is Saturday, and day one of a meetup game in Houston. I think we're gonna play a variety of poker offerings. 1-3, 5-5, and then 1-3, probably 5 bringing PLO. I imagine straddles galore in these Texas games. Texas meetup games always very misleading as far as like blinds go. Everything is bigger in Texas, especially the poker. This place, the owner reached out to us, I think via Bradley. Bradley, you know, he's got himself a lot of fans these days. The owner of the Craft Beer Cellar, a very nice guy named Steve, reached out to Brad and invited us to come out and check out the offerings. The Texas hospitality very much in effect here. Trying lots of different beers as well as the food, all of which has been great so far. The trick though, the trick to running a successful meetup game event when you travel is to not get too ahead of yourself or get too excited and have a bunch of beverages the night before day one. I can very much remember our first trip to a meetup game outside of Las Vegas. That one happened at the Wild Horse Pass Casino in Phoenix. We always come the day beforehand to make sure we can capture some of the local fare, both personally and on video. But we made it to a restaurant called Cornish Pasty Co., which you've heard me talk about in Vegas. There's another one in Phoenix. We went there before night one of that meetup game and probably had somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 or 7 pints of beer. Very much excited to partake in the meetup game, the first one outside of Las Vegas, and definitely got a little bit ahead of myself. Rather hungover for that first meetup game outside of Vegas at the Wild Horse Pass. So the trick is definitely to take it a little bit easy, especially on a multi-trip stop. Austin, after these 2 days in Houston, more poker to be found. There's a lot of these things on the calendar all of a sudden. We have this trip, 2 stops in Texas, going back to Vegas for a game in Vegas, which is way overdue. We're going to be at Resorts World on the 20th. Before too long, we'll be going to Los Angeles for a 2-day event at the Hustler Casino. So there's a ton of stuff on the calendar already. If trick number 1 is to not drink too much on the trip, I think trick number 2 is to not get too burnt out shooting all over the country, perhaps even internationally, doing these meetup games. There was a time, again, throwing it back to the early days of these events, where I think we had to get a proof of concept nailed down. And I pretty much equate that time to launching a brand and really getting after it. The startup stages of the meetup game events, we went everywhere that we could, and we didn't say no too often. And there was actually a lot of talking, casinos and poker rooms into this concept in the first place. Now it's much more of striking a balance between making sure that we are, still doing events and getting in front of people, meeting people face to face. Always a good thing, getting out from behind the computer and, rather than interacting digitally and in comments and DMs and things like that, getting to hang out with people and play some poker with people and getting a bunch of you guys into the videos. Still trying to do that while also not burning ourselves out these days. I'm not getting any younger, you guys. I'm not sure if you've noticed the gray hairs. They're coming in. They're coming in strong. There's no hiding it. Also in the beard. But anyway, yeah, trying to strike a balance between making sure we're traveling and enjoying Las Vegas as well, and not getting burnt out like we were potentially on the borderline of getting very much burnt out in the early days of this thing. But of course, wouldn't take any of it back, wouldn't do it any differently. Still have a lot of energy, I think, to keep this meetup game train rolling along. Are you busy?
Busy? No.
What's something that you think we do a better job of nowadays, or something that you enjoy more nowadays with the meetup games compared to earlier days of meetup game life? As I was saying, we sort of make a conscious effort to drink a little bit less and burn ourselves out a little bit less while still enjoying the whole experience of it.
Yeah, that's pretty important. We're getting older. Those first meetup games were so fun though, when everything was brand new to us, and you know, there were kind of like operational hiccups occasionally in the beginning, but people were like so excited. It was kind of like our first time meeting the viewers, so drinking a lot with them seemed natural. I was very, very nervous, I think, in the beginning too, and it was just like a good social lubricant. Now I've gotten more, you know, comfortable with the whole like hosting thing, so I don't feel like I need to as much for that reason as well. Used to do Irish exits, so
How many? So that's like when you just disappear without saying goodbye.
yeah.
How many times did I do that?
I would say probably like 3 to 5 times that I can kind of remember.
From meetup games?
Yeah.
I don't
But it
think
would
so.
be like 2 a.m.
I think it happened once.
There was one time, my favorite time was not even an Irish exit. My favorite thing was when we went to the Mirage. Maybe it was our second meetup game ever. We did a live stream on my channel. We got very drunk. You were filming yourself afterwards, and a security guard came up and was like, "Hey, Andrew," or not Andrew, but he's just like, "Hey, you can't film here. You gotta shut that down." You're like, "Okay." You walk 30 feet down the hallway, bring out the camera again. You're like, "The security guard right here, he said that I can't film." Meanwhile, he's still like right behind you, and comes and gets you again. That was a pretty funny thing for me to watch.
Do you think we're more professional nowadays, or do you think we still sort of like teeter on that line sometimes?
Well, now we have like approval to film in places, so for the most part, we're not really teetering that line. We're within the boundaries.
That's right. Any potential casino partners that are watching this?
Yeah.
We're very professional.
Yeah, very professional.